I never expected a simple Sunday lunch to turn my life upside down. I walked into her apartment, nerves buzzing, thinking I was just meeting the woman who raised the girl I'd been seeing for a month. Instead, I froze the moment her mom looked up from the kitchen counter and my stomach dropped. The face staring back at me was painfully familiar. It hit me before words could even form. I used to date her mother, years ago. The memory rushed back in fragments, late-night calls, shared laughter, and that first nervous touch. I had convinced myself it was buried, a story from a different life. But here it was, staring at me across a modest kitchen table. I managed a weak smile. Hi, I said, my voice catching somewhere between casual and frantic. She raised an eyebrow, a knowing look flickering across her face. Hi, she said smoothly, but I could feel the weight behind it. I'd never been good at lying when it mattered most. She knew something. I sat down, trying to act normal, but my hands were clammy, and every instinct screamed at me to leave before this spiral of consequences even began. She poured coffee without a word, the faint smell of cinnamon and brewed beans filling the air. I remembered her perfume instantly, the scent, the familiarity, and that sharp pang of memory I couldn't shake. Finally, she spoke, breaking the silence. You have a month. I blinked, caught off guard. A month? Yes, she said, calm, measured, her tone like ice melting into patience. A month to tell her, or I will. I felt my chest tighten, my mind raced. Tell her? How? I liked this girl, truly liked her. She was vibrant, kind, beautiful in a way that made the world seem softer around her. And now, the foundation of our relationship teetered precariously on the edge of truth and history I hadn't anticipated. I nodded slowly, trying to steady my breathing. I don't know how to start, I admitted, feeling more vulnerable than I had in years. She leaned back, crossing her arms, her expression unreadable. Start with honesty. That's all she deserves. Her words should have been simple, grounding, but instead they made the room feel smaller. My throat felt tight, and I could almost hear my own heartbeat pounding in my ears. A month. That's what she had given me. A month to tell the woman I cared about a secret that could destroy what I had only just begun to build. Over the next few days, I found myself avoiding her, rehearsing the conversation in my mind while pretending everything was normal. Each message we exchanged, each laugh we shared, carried a weight I couldn't shake. Every smile felt like a betrayal of the truth I carried inside me. I wanted to tell her, but the words lodged in my throat, refusing to come out. Then came the dinner with her mom again. She sat across from me, calm, knowing, as if reading my thoughts. Have you told her yet? She asked lightly. I shook my head, my hands wrapped tightly around my glass. Not yet, I admitted. You will, she said, firm but not cruel. Or I will. And I promise, she deserves honesty before anyone else tries to tell her for you. I nodded, swallowing hard. That night I couldn't sleep. I lay awake thinking about her, the way her laugh lit up a room, the softness in her eyes, the way she rested her hand lightly on my arm when we walked together. I hated myself for holding back, for the secret that pressed between us like a weight. Finally, the moment came. We were sitting on her couch, close enough that our knees brushed lightly. I felt the warmth of her presence, the subtle scent of her hair, and my chest tightened as I realized this could be the moment that changed everything. I need to tell you something, I started, my voice unsteady. She looked at me, her expression open and expectant. I took a deep breath. It's about my past, about someone I used to know. Her brow furrowed slightly. Okay, she said softly, leaning just a little closer, encouraging me without pressure. I closed my eyes for a moment, remembering the woman I'd been involved with so many years ago, the mother who now sat quietly in her daughter's life. I used to date your mom, I admitted, and the words felt like stones leaving my chest. Her eyes widened, a flicker of surprise passing across her face, but she didn't recoil. Your mom, she repeated slowly, trying to process. I nodded. I know it's complicated. I didn't expect this, and I don't want it to change anything between us. I care about you, I really do. She stayed silent for a moment, and I could feel my chest tighten again. The silence was heavy, but it wasn't angry. It was thoughtful. Finally, she asked the question that had been buzzing in my mind all along. Was it serious? Did you love her? No, I said firmly, shaking my head. It wasn't serious. I never loved her the way I care about you. It's in the past, and it doesn't change how I feel now. She studied me for a long time. I could feel my stomach twist. The weight of the moment was intense, like standing on the edge of something I couldn't back away from. Finally, she nodded. Okay, she said softly. I can accept that. It's surprising, but okay. Relief washed over me, but it was fragile, like a candle flickering in the wind. I thought the hardest part was over, but the next day brought a new twist I hadn't expected. We were at my brother's house for a small gathering, casual, lighthearted, and there it was, a set of photos on the wall that made my stomach drop. My girlfriend's mother and my brother had dated at some point in the past. The memories, the images, the shared smiles and closeness captured in those frames. It was all too much. The pictures seared themselves into my mind, replaying over and over like a loop I couldn't escape. I felt my heart tighten, my pulse quicken, and I could barely look at her. My thoughts spiraled. I loved her, truly cared about her, but these images were a visceral reminder that the past has a way of intruding when you least expect it. I realized, painfully, that I couldn't carry this weight and try to pretend it wouldn't affect me. That night, alone in my apartment, I replayed every memory, every conversation, every fleeting touch that now felt heavy with the shadow of history. I tried to push the images away, to focus on her, on the relationship we had been building, but my mind refused to cooperate. They were stuck there, the photos, the memories, the echoes of connections I couldn't undo. I knew what I had to do, even as it hurt more than I thought possible. I couldn't continue the relationship, not while my own mind was trapped between past and present. I owed her honesty, the truth that the past, however distant, had fractured something inside me I couldn't ignore. The next day, I asked to meet her alone. We sat at a small cafe, the noise of other patrons fading into the background as I searched for the right words. My hands trembled slightly as I reached across the table, feeling the warmth of her hand under mine, the subtle pulse that reminded me why this was so difficult. I care about you so much, I began, my voice shaking. And that's why I have to be honest. I can't continue like this. I tried, I really did, but the past, everything I've seen and remembered, has made it impossible for me to fully be present with you. It's not fair to you, and I can't ignore it anymore. Her eyes searched mine, confusion and concern mingling in her gaze. Are you breaking up with me? She asked softly, her hand still in mine. I nodded, swallowing hard. I have to. I'm so sorry. I never wanted this to happen. I never wanted to hurt you. Tears welled in her eyes, but she didn't pull away. Instead, she squeezed my hand lightly, a gesture of understanding, of compassion, of acceptance. The weight of her response, graceful, kind, and human, hit me harder than the breakup itself. I understand, she said finally, her voice quiet but steady. I just wish things could have been different. I nodded, unable to speak. The cafe felt smaller, the world quieter, as I realized that sometimes love isn't enough to overcome the shadows of the past. Even when feelings are genuine, even when intentions are pure, life has a way of forcing clarity, of demanding decisions we never want to make. We parted with a long embrace, not rushed, not awkward, just two people acknowledging the end of a connection that had never truly begun the way it should have. I walked away with a hollow ache in my chest, a combination of relief, heartbreak, and the strange comfort of knowing I had done the right thing. Over the following weeks, I replayed every moment, every memory, every touch and glance, understanding fully how much the past had shaped my present. I learned that honesty, while painful, was the only path to integrity. I realized that sometimes, even when you care about someone deeply, loving them isn't always enough to overcome the echoes of history. I thought about the times she smiled at me, the warmth of her hand on my arm, the laughter we shared, and I realized that these memories wouldn't fade. They would stay with me, bittersweet, a reminder that life moves forward even when we wish we could pause. I reflected on her mother too, understanding how past decisions and youthful mistakes ripple through time, touching people we never expected. In the end, I understood something fundamental. Honesty matters more than comfort, and closure is more valuable than holding on to something doomed from the start. Breaking up hurt, yes, but it allowed both of us to step forward into the world, unburdened by lies or half-truths. I went on with my life, carrying the lessons from both relationships. I approached new connections with more care, more honesty, and a deeper understanding of how the past shapes the present. Sometimes I caught myself thinking about her, about the warmth of her hand, the softness in her eyes, the way she had met this heartbreak with grace. But those thoughts no longer carried the sting of regret. They were memories, vivid, but no longer painful. In quiet moments, I would reflect on how delicate love is, how fragile yet profound it can be, and how courage isn't always shown in grand gestures, but in the quiet honesty of difficult decisions. I had learned to value integrity over desire, truth over comfort, and understanding over resentment. And somewhere in that growth, I discovered a peace I hadn't known before, a resilience that came from surviving the unexpected, navigating the tangled paths of love and history, and choosing to honor both myself and the people I cared about. Life moved forward. New faces, new laughter, new connections filled the spaces left behind. And though the echoes of the past remained, they no longer dictated my present. They were lessons, not chains. I had loved, I had cared, I had lost, and I had grown. And in that quiet, unspoken understanding, I finally felt free.